So breaking news to share with you, a judge strikes down a temporary restraining order requested by New Orleans Mayor Cantrell. Andres Fuentes is live with details.
Right, Olivia, we just learned this information just moments ago here at Civil Court. What we know thus far is that the temporary restraining order that Mayor Cantrell filed against Ann Bro has been rescinded. This comes after attorneys for Ann Bro spent a little over an hour debating the matter in civil court this morning. Some of their arguments included that the temporary restraining order was a restriction for against Ann Bro's freedom of speech, which is a constitutional right that we all have here in the United States. It all comes after Bro took multiple photos of both Mayor Cantrell and her then security detail officer Jeffrey Vappy while they were having a meal on a French Quarter restaurant balcony. That balcony could be seen from Ann Bro's apartment balcony, which is the upper Pontable there in the French Quarter. And so the restriction was temporarily, or I should say the temporary restraining order has totally been rescinded. Mayor Cantrell has to pay for the attorney's fees for Ann Bro, and we're going to be hearing a lot more from Bro, her attorney, and the mayor's attorney, Eddie Casting, coming up at noon. Some of the questions that still remain is how Mayor Cantrell managed to get Ann Bro's personal information to file the original restraining order. We're going to have a lot more of those comments and clarifications coming up at Fox 8 at noon. But for now, reporting live here at Civil Court, Andres Fuentes, Fox 8, Local First.